So one of the biggest, most successful, I don't know, just sort of out of nowhere surprises I think from last year was Overwatch. I haven't played it as much as CrystalRedPunx that we have on the show with us right now. Here's Twitter is here, but I'm surprised by it because normally when I think of Overwatch, I think of games like Team Fortress 2, which I was never good at. For some reason, I couldn't wrap my head around the trick that there was to that game. So I was a little apprehensive jumping into to Overwatch at first, but then once I did, it was amazingly fun. I don't have anything bad to say about it, other than maybe there could have been a single player campaign. I would have loved to see a single player campaign for Overwatch. Just knowing that the characters and just sort of the presentation that they give the game, it's kind of a very big oversight. But there were some changes made to Overwatch here recently, and I've got CrystalRedPunx here to just sort of give us an idea of what those changes were, and we'll discuss those. So what's got you going? What's going on in Overwatch?
Well, you don't really grinds my gears. No, it's not.
Peter Griffin's on the show, everybody.
Basically, Overwatch is still a fantastic game. It's an amazing game. It's the best one of the best shooters out there. This and Titanfall 2, in my opinion. They did have some recent changes, especially to Bastion. They gave him a much smaller spread when he's walking around his biped robot mode. And it basically makes his fire like a laser. It makes him much better in both if he's in the tank or if he's just walking around.
Okay.
But is it a little bit too viable is the question I have, because he now has a self-heal when he walks around, because he can heal himself whether he's a turret or if he's walking around as a robot. And he has better accuracy now probably than Soldier 76. And probably does the same amount of damage, if not more. So it makes him very, very viable. He still can be killed easily, but he just melts ports now, which I guess is a good thing, because he still can be killed by attackers and snipers all the same.
Gotcha.
So it's still really good, but it just makes him it's better overall for Bastion players. And I don't think it destroys the gameplay overall. Another major character that's seen multiple buffs, as anybody playing Overwatch knows, is Symmetra. Symmetra has a mobile force field now. She has 2 ultimates, and she now has a buffed laser that will melt anybody that gets next to her. So now she basically has a mobile shield she could shoot out that takes a crap load of damage to kill. Probably, I'm not sure how much it takes, but it has to be pretty close to how much damage it takes to destroy Reinhardt's shield. And all she simply does is walks up behind this shield, shoots a laser that goes through the shield that hits you, melts you, and then when your healer tries to save you, your healer's going to catch you too. So basically, it's like everybody gets melted by this laser because it's sitting at top damage instantaneously when it jumps on the next person. I feel that it makes her much more viable as a attacker and for like taking people out, but she's supposed to be a support hero. Because other support heroes in the game, when you think about it, Jerry, are like Mercy, who all she has is a pistol, which is useless. You have Ana, who has a lot of survivability. She can't kill people fast, though. She doesn't really have the ability to kill people fast. Lucio, he can knock people off of edges with his like shockwave, which is pretty good, but that's about it. What other supports do we have in that game? Well, long story short, none of the supports do a lot of damage, but Symmetra is the first support. Players are getting kill streaks. I'm pretty sure since the patch, a lot of players have been seeing that player the games tend to be Symmetras, especially in a lot of pub matches if you're not playing ranked. But I think there maybe need to be some fine tuning there. But overall, I think it's a pretty good change for the game overall. It mixes it all up.
Gotcha. So for folks that are finding Overwatch for the first time, or they're, because it's a regularly supported game. There's new maps all the way. There's how many have we gotten? Like 2 or 3 new maps so far?
I think 2 or 3. Yeah,
2 or 3. So it's still supported. It gets lots of support for patches, server maintenance, things like that. So I'm really impressed with that. Obviously, it has a microtransaction structure. Not that I would ever call that. It's not really paid to win that I've noticed. So it's really all cosmetic and all of the visual and audio tomfoolery, which is great. But if somebody's on the fence about Overwatch, why would they want to just go ahead and jump in? What's the draw of Overwatch? Because I know I've played it, I love it, But if somebody's looking to get away from something like Call of Duty, for instance, that's basically all they play, and they're looking to branch out, why would they go that direction?
Because Overwatch has multiple different ways to play. There's 4 different classes to play, and each character in plays differently than the next. Because you have like defense characters, you have Junkrat there, who just throws a whole bunch of grenades, has traps and all kinds of stuff. Then you have Hanzo, who uses a bow and arrow. They're 2 completely different characters, whereas Junkrat's a good like AoE, like clearing out an area kind of character.
I love
Hanzo's
that guy.
a precision. Yeah, he's a great character. Hanzo's a precision character. He could take out a target easily, but it takes time and patience. He has to sit back because he gets melted up front. So like you have like players that like love Call of Duty. You can just jump into the game like with Soldier 76, who's a very viable, very good character, straight from the get go.
Matter of
But
fact, that's
there's other.
exactly what I did. He was pretty much my main character, him and Tracer, to start off with, because, and I'm with you there. There is a subtle learning curve that anybody can just pick it up, but it's more difficult to master it, right? And they just keep adding characters, but the rock paper
free.
scissors for free, absolutely for free. They're free. But the idea that there's this rock paper scissors element constantly going on. Remember, I think the last game that tried to do something like this, what was the name of that game? We played it a little bit and then it just died. It was from Bethesda. Do you remember that game? What was the
Oh, Shadowrun?
Not Shadowrun. That one didn't quite die. The one
Oh, you're
that
talking about the game Brink.
Brink. You remember
that
Brink?
game.
Doesn't it
Oh my
remind you of
God.
kind of what Brink tried to do back in the day and just
It did
failed
somewhat.
horribly for whatever reason?
Ugh. It did a little bit because Overwatch is successful. So that's
Right. It's made millions.
Yeah, Overwatch is a spectacular game. It's from Blizzard, and Blizzard always continues. They support every game. They're re-releasing Diablo. I think they've already re-released.
Isn't it like a
1.
remaster that they're doing? Like a,
Yeah.
is it old school? Is it like Diablo 1 or 2 that people were I
Yeah.
never played them, but Blizzard is Blizzard. They're the top pedigree of the industry usually when you stack them up next to people like Bethesda or the heavy hitters, the folks that you can always rely on dropping
It's
a
like-
million seller.
They make quality product, and they always stick behind their product. Because think about it, how many shooters has Blizzard released?
None.
I'm waiting.
None.
Exactly. And then they release one, and it's the top shooter out there.
That's not a thing they do. That's very good. Yeah. So yeah, buy Overwatch because it's not Brink. I gotta agree. I gotta admit that I enjoyed Brink a little bit, and I think Overwatch. Not that I would ever say that they borrowed anything from Brink, because everybody's looking at Brink right now just thinking, what a fail that was. But if I look at Brink, I think that's everything. Overwatch is everything I think Brink should have been back in the day. I don't know if anybody is just going to look at me and laugh for the comparison. But I mean, this was like 8 years ago this happened?
It was pretty bad.
It
I
was
remember
supposed to
we
be
were
the
so excited
bee's
about that game.
knees. Yeah. Ouch.
But this is definitely like the next generation's Team Fortress. Oh, because it's just all the characters are so varied, and you can play so many different ways with each character. Well, experience.
Got it. So there's Overwatch. So those of you that might have been crying about Bastion, cry more, because that's like my main character now, at least for defending, because I do like to take up post and laser beam some fools down. So yeah, so I do want to play more Overwatch. I think it's a good success what Overwatch became and is inevitably going to end up being. So I'd like to play more of that and maybe get some live streams going on the channel from the PS version, at least, because my PC isn't quite up to snuff yet. I'm only running 6 gigs of RAM right now because one of my sticks died a horrible, painful death. And yeah, it needs resuscitating for sure. I tried playing Just Cause 3 on it yesterday, and it just chugs because it needs like 2 more gigs of RAM to do anything. But that's Overwatch, and yeah, I hope it continue. And I hope people start following Overwatch's model too, because earlier in the show we talked about how Call of Duty is sort of shitting its own bed, And then
Oh yeah.
you look at Overwatch and how they're bringing in the cash. You know they're raking in the money, while Call of Duty is just sitting back still going, season pass? You know? And it's like, just stop. Just sit at the kids' table and eat
They
there.
haven't evolved. They think they could add a spaceship to their game or add a zero gravity area. Like, oh guys, this is nice. Please.
Yeah.
Jon Snow's not going to save your game franchise. It's not happening.
Yeah, he's going to end up like he did in Game of Thrones, at least for a little bit. But
Yeah.
Overwatch, nice, good going. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed. If you're interested in more segments from this particular show, click one on the right. If you enjoyed the video, a like would be super helpful, and of course, it would be amazing if you subscribed for future content.